Japan, often called the land of the rising sun, is known today for its busy cities, deep traditions, and calm, ordered society. But long before bullet trains and neon lights, there was a time when the country was divided, violent, and unstable. This was the Sengoku Japan, the age of warring states when powerful warlords fought for control, and the future of Japan was decided by steel, gunpowder, and strategy. It was in this world, according to a few fragmented records and later stories, that a general named Masaru Ishida is said to have lived. Unlike famous names such as Oda Nobunaga or Tokugawa Ieyasu, Masaru does not appear clearly in the main chronicles. Instead, he shows up in small mentions: a commander in a minor campaign, a strategist in a battle report, a name written slightly differently from one source to another. Some historians think he was a real but overlooked samurai. Others believe he is a composite, a blend of several lesser-known officers whose lives were merged into one legend over time. What is clear, however, is the world he would have lived in. By the mid-1500s, the authority of the old shogun had collapsed. Regional lords, known as daimyo, ruled their domains like independent states. They built castles on hilltops, raised armies of samurai and ashigaru foot soldiers, and constantly tested each other's strength in battle. Alliances were made and broken quickly, and no one could be sure who would survive from one decade to the next. In this environment, a general like Masaru Ishida would have carried a heavy responsibility. He would have been trained from childhood in swordsmanship, archery, and horseback riding, and later exposed to the new firearms that Portuguese traders brought to Japan. His role was not just to fight, but to plan, choosing where to position troops, when to advance, when to retreat, and how to use terrain, weather, and timing to his advantage. Victories brought honor to his clan. Defeats could mean the end of everything. Some sources suggest that Masaru served a mid-level daimyo caught between larger powers, forced to constantly negotiate for survival. In one account, General Ishida is credited with organizing a defensive line that held off a stronger enemy by using ashigaru with matchlock guns behind wooden palisades. In another, he is mentioned briefly as leading a night raid that destroyed an enemy supply camp. None of these references are fully confirmed, but together they paint a picture of a commander who understood that war in the Sengoku period was as much about logistics and timing as it was about personal bravery. Like many samurai generals of his time, Masaru would have lived under constant pressure from all sides. His daimyo expected results. Rival clans plotted new offensives. Within his own ranks, ambitious warriors watched closely, waiting to rise if he failed. He had to keep his men fed, paid, and motivated through long campaigns, bad weather, and the constant threat of surprise attacks. A general who lost the trust of his soldiers or the confidence of his lord did not stay in command for long. The emotional weight of this life is easy to overlook when we only read about dates and battles. But behind every campaign, a general like Masaru had to send real people into danger. He would have known some of his officers since childhood, trained with them, shared meals with them, and then watched them fall in combat. The ideals of Bushido loyalty, honor, duty were not just words. They were the only way to make sense of a world where death could come in an instant. The Sengoku period also saw rapid changes in military technology and tactics. Firearms spread quickly, castles became more complex. Large-scale battles, like the later clash at Sekigahara, involved tens of thousands of troops. The general had to adapt or be left behind. If Masaru Ishida truly existed, he would have stood at this crossroads between old samurai traditions and new forms of warfare, trying to mix personal courage with modern strategy. By the end of the Sengoku era, leaders like Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and finally Tokugawa Ieyasu managed to pull Japan together under more stable rule. With the rise of the Tokugawa shogunate in the early 1600s, the age of constant civil war began to fade. Many generals who had spent their lives fighting were pushed into retirement, executed, or quietly written out of official histories that preferred to highlight the winners. This may help explain why figures like Masaru Ishida, if they were real, are so hard to trace. Records could have been lost, destroyed, or edited to favor the new ruling families. Local stories and clan memories may have kept his name alive, but only as a shadow at the edges of documented history. Today, Masaru Ishida stands as a symbol of the many unnamed or half-remembered commanders who helped shape Japan's path during its most turbulent age. Whether he was one man or a blend of several, his story helps us understand what samurai generals actually faced in the Sengoku Japan. Endless war, shifting loyalties, impossible choices, and the constant struggle to balance honor with survival. In the end, the question of whether Masaru Ishida truly lived may never be answered with certainty. But the world he represents is very real, a world of fractured provinces, burning banners, and warriors who fought and died long before Japan became the united, peaceful nation we know today.